All right, everyone. This is Vance Stevens. I'm in Al Ain, United Arab Emirates. And about a week ago, on November 21st, I tried giving a talk to some people, some really nice people in Vellore, India, people I had visited before. And it was on flipping learning using Wikis. And it was actually a plenary that I gave at the ELT for Generation Z or Z virtual conference. And I was invited to give the talk by the Department of English, School of Social Sciences and Languages at Vellore Institute of Technology in Vellore, India. And I had been there before, and a few years ago I went to present at a conference there live. My favorite place in Vellore was Foodies. I told the people there, but I don't think they could hear me because 1 week ago I was trying to do this in Hangout on Air, and I was having some serious bandwidth issues. So anyway, my talk is about flipped presentations, and first of all, this is itself a flipped presentation, which it means that I'm doing it in such a way that people can see me presenting, or they can come back and get this presentation. When I gave the presentation online, I set up a space for it, tinyurl.com/vit-vance, and I gave the people in the presentation that URL. That URL takes you here, which is what we're looking at now. So this is my graphic. So if you use that tiny URL, you come to this presentation, and that in turn, it's a Google Slides presentation. It's online, and you can find it there at that tiny URL. Now, the stream that I made, because I did it in Hangout on Air, it did get a recording. It was a little messed up, but that stream and recording is at the URL that you can see here, but I don't really recommend you listen to it because I'm replacing that recording with what I'm doing now. But you can recapitulate the whole presentation if you go to the link which says, well, you click on that. It's a Learning Together link, because a lot of the things I do are Learning Together presentations. So this is the Learning Together link right here. This is a podcast series that I put on. You can see that this is the last one I did was here. It's at learningtogether.net, by the way. And before that, we were doing presentations for Electronic Village Online. I just clicked to a new window. So this is basically, let me just take my video out here. Okay, so these are some of the earlier presentations I did here. Trying to stream here, and there we are. So you can see it's a week, well, not really a weekly series, but it's a frequent series. And I basically run it through a wiki. Let me show you the wiki. It's called learningtogether.pbworks.com. And all of the things I'm going to show you today are about wikis and how I set up wikis for flipped learning. So, I guess I should go back to the slides and talk a little bit about flipped learning. So, there's flipped learning and a flipped classroom. And a flipped classroom is where you take flipped learning into a class that you're probably teaching face-to-face. But flipped learning, there's a flipped learning network that you can visit, and I think there's a link here. If you go to the slide, you can actually click on the link here. It will take you to the flipped learning network. Let me just click there and see what happens. Okay, there we go. So this handout on the flipped learning network explains what flipped learning is. And basically, well, this is. Let me go back to the slides, and I'll show you what I think it is. Okay, here we go. Back to the slides from that handout. I've distilled a few of the features of flipped learning here. and you can see them on the slide. It says Flip Learning, the acronym FLIP, which they kind of stretched, obviously. The F there is a flexible environment, where educators create flexible spaces in which students can choose when and where they learn. There's a little bit more to that, which I'll show you on the second page here. This is what we're looking at. So there's a bit more about that, but basically it stands for a flexible environment. And then the L is for learning culture. And learning culture, an expert of that is that it shifts instruction to a learner-centered approach where students are actively involved in knowledge construction. So we're trying to create spaces like this one right here that I'm showing you right now. It's a space where you can go and you can learn something that I'm trying to help you to learn. And it's learner-centered because you go there when you want to go. And the I in Flip it has intentional content. What that means, it helps students develop conceptual understanding as well as procedural fluency. And there's a little bit more to that about intentional content. But basically, the P means it stands for professional educator, and it says here that professional educators are reflective in their practice, connect with each other to improve their instruction, accept constructive criticism, and tolerate controlled chaos in their classrooms. I really like that idea of controlled chaos in the classroom. I'm sort of a chaotic person myself. I embrace chaos. But basically, what this presentation sets out to do is to flip the learning in such a way that even if my face-to-face, or not face-to-face, it was an online presentation failed, but I was looking at an audience sitting in an auditorium, even if they were having trouble due to bandwidth issues hearing my audio, and it didn't really work for them, they at least can come back here and they can go through what I was trying to tell them, and I can communicate with them even at a distance, and a distance not only in space on the day, but a distance in time. Now it's 1 week after this. Okay, so this presentation is intended to cover other ways that I try and flip learning. I flip learning in my classroom, for example. I have I think maybe I mentioned that in this blog post. This is the blog post that I have to go back to it. Let's see the first one here. This is the post that I created, and I note in this post where you can. This is where I flip my own classes right here. So I use it, that is, in face-to-face classrooms with my students. And what I do with them is I set up wikis in PBworks. I use PBworks. And I set up wikis like this one. This is a Learning Together space. It's a PB wiki. And let's see, what you can tell about the purpose of this one, I should say, this Learning Together, it's a podcast series. So I'm going to just make it a little bit smaller so that I can get more of it here. On all the wikis, there's a sidebar. In this one, there's one for upcoming presentations. So if I click on the upcoming presentations, you can see when it responds what I'm doing here. I've got one coming up with Shelley Terrell in a couple of days. And this is where I set up the events. Make that a little bit larger so you can see it. So that's this is the presentation. We're going to be talking about her new book on digital learning strategies. So basically, I have the things I'm doing. I set up a space where people can come to, and then they can see what's going to happen in the session. And after it happens, I take it back over to this Learning Together. It's a WordPress blog, actually. Okay, so Learning Together then is a space where I organize my podcasts in such a way that people who want to see them can come and they can come here and they can see what I'm going to do, and they can also get an archive. maybe I should show you the archive. I'll show you the things that we've been doing on Learning Together since 2010. I just have to find the sidebar. Here it is up here. Because I increased the screen size, there we go. I just went to the archive. So since 2010, since 2009 here, we did only one podcast in 2009. But all these years, 2017 to 2009, we make recordings, and here are some of the recordings that we've had. So this is in 2017. Several recordings. Actually, you can see, I'm going a little bit fast, but you can see here that there have been 378 actually so far. 3 of them are not recorded here in the archive yet, but this is the 378th Learning Together presentation. Okay, now, and all of them are listed here. They all go to learningtogether.net links. So let's see, here's one, just find one at random here. Here's something I was doing in, I clicked on one, so you can go to any of these and you can see a recording of the event, and you can get a description of it, and basically you can recapitulate that event. Okay, coming back now to the slides. So I've shown you learningtogether.net and explained that this was episode 378, the 378th time that I put on a Learning Together blog, podcast, Learning Together podcast. I have also created in my workspace for my people at work an explanation of how you can set up your own wiki. It's at kbzpd.pbworks.com. All PBworks wikis end in pbworks.com, and you don't have www, but instead of that you replace the www with the name of your blog or your wiki, whatever you want to call it. So at the kbzpd.pbworks.com, show you over here. Okay, this is basically professional development that I do at my workplace. Here are a few of the things that I've posted here. I basically post tutorials. For example, if you want to learn about Edpuzzle, you can click here and it will show you a quick start guide. PBworks gives you a table of contents if you want one, and tells you how you set up, this one tells you how you set up Edpuzzle, and what the students see when they set it up, and explains to the students, basically a tutorial that explains to them how to join your classes. Edpuzzle is not really what I'm planning to talk about today, but what I'm talking about today is, I have to go back a little bit here. Okay, so this is my KBZPD Professional Development PBworks.com page, and this is I gave a session in 2014 on wikis, and there's a slideshow here. So it explains how you can organize students around a wiki and train colleagues to do likewise, like I'm doing now. Now that is something that I gave at that's a slideshow that I gave at a online event. So you can see the slides here. So all my slides are at slideshare.net /Vance. And so this is just the show that I gave. So you can go there and see that if you want at kbzpbworks.com. This is on the front page. And then there's information about how you can create a wiki. So starting with lesson 1, create your wiki. I'm just clicking links that take you down the page. If you scroll down the page, you'll find these. So this is an explanation of how you can save wikis, how you can get a history of your wiki, There's a page history. You know, all wikis, they never disappear. You get to keep all the versions of the wiki you ever created. And that explains the page history and how to upload files to your wiki and that sort of thing. So if you want to learn yourself how to create a wiki like this one, then you can go to my flipped learning page, flipped learning wiki, and you can see how to do that. So now I'm going to show you a couple of spaces that I used lately. And the ones I'm going to show you right now are Evo Minecraft MOOC and Evo MultiMOOC. And these are, EVO stands for Electronic Village Online. You probably can't see what I just highlighted because of my videos in the way. But anyway, basically, I said I'm going to talk about Evo Minecraft MOOC and Evo MultiMOOC. Okay, so here are the links to those. EVO stands for Electronic Village Online, and I'm involved in these are spaces where teachers can go. You can go there if you want. Actually, I should have showed you EVO sessions. Maybe I could just do that. I'll put in see, in a space I'm not using right now. I'll put evosessions.pbworks.com. This is a wiki that my colleagues and I have created to where people can go to sign up for Electronic Village Online. And in January, let's see if we've got a timeline here. Here we are, was a timeline. So right now we're in, we finished training moderators. It starts with a call for proposals for moderators. Now we did that in July, and then we got proposals in and we accepted a number of them, actually most of them, by September 24th, because this is a place where you can not only learn from other people, but you can propose to be a moderator and teach other people. And then there was a moderator training, which went from October 22nd to November 19th. So I had just finished that when I did my session at Vellore online on November 21st. And now we are looking, the moderators are now consolidating what they are doing in their sessions. They're making sessions, and on December 10th we issue a call for participation from people who want to sign up for the sessions. They can sign up for sessions, and on the 14th the sessions begin. So if you want, you can go to evosessions.pbworks.com and you can become a part of this. So I run a session called Minecraft. It's called the Minecraft MOOC. A MOOC is a multi what's this? A massive online open course. I thought I was thinking multi, from another course I set up. I have something called MultiMOOC. Yeah. So it's a massive open online course. It can accommodate thousands or hundreds or tens of people, and it's a 5-week session. So this is how I organize this, is I set up a wiki for it. So if you're in week 1, you can click on Orient. You have the weeks you can go to here, or you can go in the sidebar as well. So for example, if I want to go to see what you do to Orient here, I can click there. I've just done that. We're waiting for that to come up. Here's the sidebar again, so I can go back to the home page. I can go to week 2 from here if I like. So these are the things that if you joined our course, you would go to our Google community. Here's the Google community for Minecraft. I'll just show you that. Okay, so this is this is where we organize our interaction, and we do that. We've been doing that for 4 or 5 years now, so actually there's quite a big community involved there. But basically that's what I should point out too, you can see archives from our previous sessions. So We can do all of this at one wiki. We can have sessions that are ongoing now, or we can have archives of previous sessions that we've set up. So we can track things over time. So that's a nice, it's a really nice environment. Here we have help pages. If you want to get onto the server, for example, I just clicked on the sidebar here. This is information for how you can join Minecraft, how you set your version. If you want to, you have to purchase Minecraft. It's about $28 US dollars. But anyway, once you've done that, so many educators have done that we don't really see that as being a problem. It's something that everybody has to do. If you want to use Minecraft Edu, for example, you have to pay $5 per year for a license. You can then, once you've got a license, $28 is for a personal license, and it's not Minecraft Edu; it's the full client. You can go like we do and meet other people online. But basically, this shows you how to set up your server, your client, I should say, to go to our server. And once you've done that, then you can join us, and you have to be whitelisted on the server. So this this wiki explains how you do all that, how you join us. And so it's basically a flipped environment where people can, it lets people learn at their own pace. It gives them a place that they can go and meet other professional educators, and basically it does the flip as I explained earlier. So there's one more space I want to show you, and this is one that I did in a previous EVO session, something I called MultiMOOC. I was asked at one time to do a course in multiliteracies for the TESOL PPOT, that's the online teaching courses that they have people pay for. So I was teaching multiliteracies at the time, and I also ran it as a EVO session when I wasn't teaching for the Principles and Practices of Online Teaching program. I did this in January and February as an EVO session, and it helped me to develop the free one. This one helped me to develop the TESOL one, which people were paying for. So they sort of went hand in hand. I was actually learning quite a lot about multiliteracies, and when MOOCs came along in 2008, you can see from the archive here. So if I go down to the archive, where is the archive? Here it is. So I taught this course in 2004, 2005, 6, 7, 8, 9, up through 2013. Actually, 2014 was the last time that I did it. So I called it MultiMOOC 2.014. So as you can see, you can in one space have a place where you can archive. That was 10 years of sessions, and everything can be preserved in this one space. You get quite a lot of space for free, by the way. I don't have to pay for this. I'm not sure. I guess you could say I'm a legacy user of PBworks. I'm not sure if it's so easy to get a free wiki with them now, but this is the one I use, and there are other wikis you can use as well. In fact, you can use Google tools as wikis. So Google Docs is also a good wiki space. So anyhow, this is basically a repository. There's one I keep up even now that's a part of this space. It's called Berry Bush Books. And over the 10 years, we developed a lot of help files and resources. Berry Bush Books is one that I was just adding to today. I call it berry bush because there, back when I was doing an MA last century, there were two ways of, there were two models for learning. One was the berry bush, which is where people go into a field of berries, and you would, if you want a berry, you take what you can reach easily, and you don't worry too much about the thorns. And the other way of organizing learning is the conduit. And back then we used to do things on cassette tapes, and that was really a conduit is a linear way of accessing things. So it was a time when random access was just coming along. So I created a bookstore, which is all free books, and it's called, I called it Berry Bush Books. And so, let's see, I wonder if I must have done something wrong because I don't see the book I just recently added. Let's see, well there it is. I see, I didn't make a heading here, and that's why it doesn't show up. So these are all books you can download for free. And one that's I find very interesting is Teachercraft, How Teachers Learn to Use Minecraft in Their Classrooms. So that's a free book. You can see lots of free books that you can get here. So this is just one of the resources in this Goodbye Gutenberg wiki that I set up for a multiple literacies class. It's at goodbyegutenberg.pbworks.com. Okay, I see I was covering up the screen. I'll go back and show you the books again because my video was over it. Okay, so these are some of the things that you can read. Teaching in a Digital Age, Teachercraft, that was the one about Minecraft. You can download it here. It says free download there. Let me make that bigger for you. Okay, hope that helps. And Innovations in Continuing Professional Development from the British Council. Sometimes these British Council books disappear. Terry Anderson, co-author in Teaching Crowds. Invasion of the MOOCs. So these are all, if you want to learn more about that. Kurt Bonk is one of my favorite authors and professors. He's actually a friend. I would call him a friend. He's a professional friend. But anyway, he's been out to Abu Dhabi a number of times when I was living there. And he and Elaine Koo wrote a book called Adding Some Tech Variety, and they put it online, and you can go to techvariety.com and get it. Here's another interesting one. I'll stop here, but Dana Boyd wrote a book called It's Complicated, about the social lives of network teens. And again, you can download this book. Here's a direct link to the PDF. That's a very good book. It gives a lot of insights into teen use of multimedia. Okay, so anyway, this was supposed to be a 30-minute presentation, and it's been about flipped learning using wikis. And I've wanted to make this recording because the one, as I mentioned, that I gave live a week ago didn't work so well. So now I'm using open broadcasting software, OBS, which anybody can download. You can set up your computer so that you can use it in this way. What I'm doing is I've got two scenes set up. One has the slides that I'm showing, and it has my mic set up, and the other one has a webcam where you can see me. Okay, so anyway, well, thank you very much, and I hope you enjoy this presentation. And if you're in Vellore, a special shout out to you, and I hope this helps somebody there to understand what I was trying to say when I gave this talk a week ago. So bye for now. This is the OBS software running right here. So now I'm going to stop the recording, and I just put it on the screen now. Okay, bye-bye. Vance Stevens, 27th of November, 2017, saying goodbye from Al Ain, United Arab Emirates.